You are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business. Tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell-Rappin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. Welcome back, my friends. I want to ask you a simple question that should have a very obvious answer. What if you could grow your business exponentially by having a whole bunch of amazing human beings advocate and help you find your next client? Well, I hope you're thinking, heck yeah, I want some of that, because that is possible when you learn to crack the collaboration code. And I'm super excited to introduce you to our guest today, who is one of my strategic partners, one of the awesomest people I do business with on a regular basis. And she's going to help us figure out how to do that. So give a very warm welcome, Virginia Muzquiz. Welcome, 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 my friend. So
hey,
excited
beautiful.
to have you.
How are you? Thanks for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I think you're such an awesome individual. And I want to start with this question, because we all want better relationships. We all want strategic partners. And truthfully, most of us do a terrible job at this. And there's so much room for improvement. I want to start with the art and science of how do we be better peeps connecting to other human beings, and why is this so damn hard?
Oh my God. So what a loaded question to ask someone who just got back from Peru and a massive set of medicine journeys, right? So I'll just tell you what I learned there, because I think it is the key. And it is take 100% responsibility for your own lived experience. And added to that, give everyone else the benefit of the doubt. So what that means is, if at any time you and I are out of alignment or out of balance or out of sync, I want to first look at, what did I do? Where have I fallen short? What do I need to do to make the relationship equitable, to restore balance to the relationship? And if you do something boneheaded, what I ought to assume is that you didn't intend it. And even though I perceived it that way, I'm in charge of how I respond and how I react. And feelings aside, if I give you the benefit of the doubt, then you and I can always collaborate on finding a solution. I saw a Simon Sinek video that I thought was hilarious. And he was talking about how he was in this huge fight with his wife. And she was like, you did all these things wrong and I did all these things right. And his response was, well, I did all these things right and you did all those things wrong. To which she replied, well, I did these other things right and you did these other things wrong. And sort of as it started to escalate, he did a timeout and he said, new rules, new rules. I'm going to tell you everything I did wrong and everything you did right. And you can tell me everything you did wrong and everything I did right. And then we'll find a solution. And he said it took all of, 3 minutes of, oh yeah, you know what you did right? Here's what you did right.
To change the conversation, right?
Conversation, and they were laughing and the relationship was restored. So I do think the most valuable thing that I have learned in the last couple of years about relationships that has taken this process for me to another level is it's my responsibility, and the stories that I make up about what other people do. Well, I emailed them and they didn't email me back, therefore, and then I have a story. Well, what if they broke their foot or got a concussion or their email server was down or they never saw it or maybe they were busy? There's a million reasons why somebody doesn't necessarily answer an email or pick up the phone in today's age. And we have to make decisions based on fact rather than the fictions that we create. And I think that goes a long way to creating better relationships.
I love this 100% responsibility and having good intentions that the other side is a good human being, I think is so powerful. I had this exact conversation this morning with somebody who I had made an offer to, and we had expected to complete in the offer a couple of days ago, and I haven't heard from them. And I could immediately think there's a problem, or I thought, I don't have to think that. Why don't I just
Mhm.
ask? And she's
Mhm.
like, yes, I've had a family emergency. I've had to fly out of town. This is what's happening. I am still 100% committed to one, advocating for you because I believe
Mhm.
in what you're doing. And two, I want to be a client. But the client
Right.
thing might be a little delayed because of life. And this idea that let's find common ground,
Mhm.
watch our storyline, and truly also vet good people. Because, yeah, not everyone is going to do what they say they're going to do, but find your crowd.
Mhm. Well, and my mentor Hazel Walker also has said to me, "Look, people are always what they do and rarely what they say. So
Yeah.
watch what they do." And I still believe that most of us, when we say it, we have all the good intentions. Case in point, you just did a summit. You allowed me to speak on the summit. We had an agreement. My audience did not fulfill the agreement, right? Because my work, I did my work, but the results didn't come. And I'm a real big believer, Christine, in that, oh gosh, all the effort in the world is super awesome. But if it doesn't get a result, we have to talk about the results. And then we have to make a decision. Well, based on this, can we do something else? Can we create something? What can we do? And how can we make good and try to drive the result? And if together we can't drive a result, then what we need to do is change the expectations within the relationship so that the relationship makes sense. I have a partner who um, very interestingly continues to ask me to promote, and I continue to say, why? Every time I've promoted you, you've made $0, gotten zero opt-ins, made zero sales. Really what that's telling me is that what you have, my audience isn't looking for. Likewise, you've promoted me and nothing has come of it. So why don't we restructure the relationship? And there's a tension and a refusal to understand that on the other person's part. But I just keep holding my ground and saying, listen, I think we could be great knowledge partners. I think we could be, great. I actually think we could be great referral partners, finding each other a buyer or two over the course of a year. But the endless, incessant, can you mail for me? Can you promote me? Can you, right, that's not working. So I also think there's a special moment when two rational adults need to come together and say, well, we are mutually committed to creating a certain result. And if we're not creating it, why are we not creating it? And again, if I'm fishing in your pond and your pond doesn't have any of my fish, then why am I fishing in your pond? Right? Like let's
So, right. Yeah.
let's I don't know, have a picnic. Do something else.
Well, and this is what I think is really important. And this is why, you and I have collaborated on a lot of different things and are always
Mhm.
coming to the table with, this is what I believe to be the case. Let's run it and try it and see what
Right.
happens. And if results have fallen short, here's some great feedback. And your collaborative partners should have a shared mutual interest in the results being achieved, which means we do what we're going to say we're going to do. If something is falling short, it's like, this is where we've identified some problems I can correct or I
Mhm.
can't. And here's what we can do instead. And it means coming to the table
Yes.
with a powerful partnership mindset, which says we've got to find a way. And not everybody will want this kind of rich collaboration. And
Mhm.
yet, I will tell you, fewer, richer collaborations is faster growth than a million people who you barter trade or treat as hit and run collaborative partners, which isn't collaboration at all. It's horse trading.
Well, yes. And I think one of the most interesting pieces of this whole puzzle, okay, is like in my case, I'm helping people get from maybe 50,000 to their first quarter million. And if you have a medium ticket offer, let's just say a 10K offer, however you structure that, and you want to do a quarter million in gross revenue, you need 25 people. To me, it seems a lot easier to get 12 people to each bring me 2 buyers in the course of 12 months
Yes.
than all that other crazy that we do. And look, I've done it. I spent the COVID years building my email list, and I'm not saying don't do this, right? But I'm just saying that, in addition to, yeah, build your email list, build your audience, do all of that. And if you're building partnerships, it's really the most leveraged thing you can do. Teach partners how to find you buyers and let them teach you how to find buyers. And in the course of your normal sales conversations, you can literally be referring people to the people they need to know. So if I'm talking with somebody and I'm listening to what they say and I think, you know what? They're already doing 220. Like, yes, I can help them and I'll share with them how, but I also suspect that they could benefit from what you have to offer because you're that next step, right? You're the get me from paying my bills to scale. So it makes sense if they're not going to buy from me. If they say, well, I don't think you're a good fit. Well, then my next obligation is to figure out, okay, well, who is a good fit and send them your way. And since I know they have a budget, because I already asked them that question, it makes the buy much, much more easy. So as long as you are making offers and having sales conversations, you have to know that if you're lucky, I mean, I don't know what your close ratio is for yourself or your clients, but I'm thinking like a third is great on non-referred buyers, right? Like buyers that come to you just from
25
nowhere.
to 35 is pretty average.
If
Yeah.
you can get 1 in 3, maybe 1 in 4, you're still going to have 2 or 3 people that are telling you no. So those 2 or 3 people that are telling you no, it's much easier if you've got a stable of other people. You can say, you know, it sounds to me like you really want to go this other route that I don't teach, but this person does teach that and has a really great program that I'd love to share with you and tell you about. How does this sound? Great, move along. And that's really the key to profitable partnerships, is for us to make sure that anytime we're having a sales conversation, they buy from somebody,
Yeah.
not
And I
from
love that. I
me.
love that approach because
Somebody.
I told somebody this morning, was chatting about my future 2025 plans, right? And what's coming down the road. And I said, I'm not here to make a short-term transaction. Just so we're clear on where the angle is that I come from. I want you to be somebody I know I could refer business to, and we have the opportunity to explore if our fishes are in each other's ponds. But to
Mhm.
your point, just like, guys, go back a second here. If you only need 25 people in your business a year, and you have a couple of strategic partnerships that over the course of 12 months bring you 1 or 2 people who are pre-qualified, that are teed up to both
Buy.
need what you have and want it because it's been referred, your life exhales. Your business
Mhm.
gets easier. And a referred recommendation closes significantly higher, typically 60 to 80% of the time. And when
Mhm.
it doesn't close, it's usually a deferred decision, not a
Mhm.
no, a deferred decision. And
Right.
so there's so much to be gained when
The
you
other
start
thing
thinking.
that's lovely about what you're saying, Christine, is this: when I bring them to you, I can let you know that they're deferring.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you already know in the sales conversation that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, and the discussion changes, right? It's, Virginia told me these things. Is there anything she left out that you would want me to know about? I understand that you're looking for February. Tell me what's going on in January. Great. Would you let's go ahead and get you a deposit to hold one of my spots, and then we'll get you onboarded in February. That's what this is going to look like. You can pre-onboard them while they're deferring if you know they're in deferral, because now you're not trying to make the sale. You're simply having the onboarding conversation.
Well, and what you say is even key, right? It's, let me equip you to have a good conversation. And this person who I talked about earlier, who made a decision to defer on the personal side, she's referred business to me. That's how she knows me, as a referral partner. She said,
Mhm.
I've referred some great people to you. And I've said to them, every time a referral comes in, what's going on that made me a good introduction right now? What
Mhm.
can I do to support a continuing thread that you have with this other person, so that I can reaffirm what you're doing? I can pick up as a well handed off conversation. And when we start the conversation, it is so much more effective. But we are, again, looking at this as both of us are going to win when the right
Mhm.
person finds the right support at the right time. And
Right.
chances are, if you build a good referral network, you really will see collaboration not as a hit and run, but as a true integral sales force that you get to play with other cool people who are supporting better results. And your reputation grows every time you make that
Every
connection.
time. And the most interesting thing, Christine, and it's the I think where people miss the boat on this, is that building partnerships, building a network of partnerships is very similar to building a clientele. And one of the places where a lot of entrepreneurs fail is they're out hunting for their list building. So they're building their list, they're building their list, they're building their list. However, they're not nurturing their list, they're not engaging their list, they're not making offers to their list. They're just collecting a list. Everybody's signing up for their freebie, and they're sort of hoping and praying that you signed up for my business by referral blueprint. You'll read it and call me and be like, totally want to hire you, which never happens. Okay. And so on the client side, I thought this was really brilliant. I did a podcast interview with a woman named Sabrina Victoria the other day. When someone downloads something or joins her community, she picks up the phone and calls them. Hi, just wanted to call personally and thank you for downloading. Wanted to call and personally thank you for joining the community. Wanted to call and personally engage with you. You now have my phone number. Call me back. Right. And she has personal loads of these 15 minutes. Not, I'm going to tell you about me. Tell me about you. Tell me about you. I'm going to make an introduction. Tell me about you. I'm going to help you with this. So she does these all day long. Right. But then when she makes an offer, it's easy peasy. They're like, well, of course. I mean, the first thing she did was show up for me. Of course, I'm going to show up for her. So when she wants a favor from her community, they show up. Well, one of the challenges that a lot of people have when they're networking is maybe they're networking for clients, but if they're networking for clients, they're in a generalist pool instead of a specialty pool. And if you're networking for clients, you need to be in a room full of your potential prospects, full of suspects, people that meet your criterion. If you're going to be networking for partners, you need to be in a room where your potential partners are. And you need to not just be collecting up business cards. I call that the bag of shame. Right? You got this big bag of business cards of people, you met them, you collected them. That could be email addresses, in your CRM that you met at XYZ networking event. But if you don't have a specific plan for engaging, nurturing, and creating collaborations, and you don't have a plan for that, you're forever going to have an audience and a list of partners that you reach out to out of the blue and say like, hey, I'm doing a promotion. Can you promote me? And they don't follow through, and they say yes, but then they make one email and not a lot happens. And so I think it's super important to understand that just like you have to have a process for taking an audience member and bringing them through a sales process, an engagement process to the point that they either will talk about you, promote you, or engage with you and pay you money. You've got to have that same kind of plan at the partnership level. And that's where I think partnerships fall flat, is that there's never a leader in the conversation. There's two people, like I have a puppy and he chases his tail, and like one of us is the head and the other's the tail. And we're like, but we never do anything because there's no plan. There's no agenda. There's no agreement. And I'm restarting in February this new, it's not new because it's revamped, redesigned program called the Referral Incubator Workshop. And it's where you bring a partner and I walk you through every conversation you need to create a 12-month partnership plan that includes promotion, introductions to partners, and potential introductions to buyers based on your partner avatar and your buyer avatar. And it's super lucrative. Like when I was doing it several years ago, before COVID, we were generating tens of millions of dollars in potential revenue in a room full of 20 people. So we're bringing that back in 2025 because the plan is out there, it's written, I've published it, but nobody's doing it. So I just decided for 2025, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and I'm going to start like dragging everybody, kicking and screaming through the process.
Well, and they'll win from it. Like this is the fun thing I find so much fascinating and mind-boggling at the same equal end of that spectrum, because the right people spending an hour in a small community, and you do such a beautiful job of building small people together. It's like, let's get out your LinkedIn. Let's get out your Rolodex. Let's get out, who do you know that meets these criteria? And that's a more valuable conversation than guys and doing all this spinny, shiny crap. And all of us, yes, we build our lists. We're not saying don't build them, but all of us could do more with the people that come into our list in the beginning, and we have to remember to make offers to our list. We have to do a whole bunch of the real basic fundamentals if we want to see success. But it starts when you say, I'm going to show up and be 100% responsible for my actions. And I'm going to be committed that you're going to follow through. I'm going to equip you to be successful.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be here to help connect and fine tune and adjust the programs. And so I want to ask you, because I ask all my guests this, because I think it's fascinating in its diversity for you, because you've shifted your business and you've come back from your medicine journey and you've got some bigger, different shifts you're making.
Yeah.
What do you believe is the key right now for you to grow your business? What's working right now so we can see it?
Yeah. So when COVID hit, my world turned upside down. And somehow or another, I believed that like everything had changed, right? Like everything's changed. And so I started really exploring all, the product launch formula and list building and summits and giveaways and challenges. And I started exploring all of those digital tactics. And it has been a fascinating learning experience that has made me less money than I would care to have made by, but you pay for your education. So I have absolutely no regrets. And I feel like where I am is I'm sitting in a space of 100% responsibility and deciding, look, who is going to be most successful in my program? And who can get the wins? Who is ready for the wins? And to be working with the people that are ready for the wins and to be focused on what I know and what I do best and bringing people alongside of me that see the value in that and don't want to change it, because there are so many times when we're out there talking about what we're doing or how we're going to do it that people are like, oh, I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it this way. I wouldn't zig. I would zag. I wouldn't red. I would blue. Oh, I would never buy that. And the reality is all of those people that would zig when you zag and all of the people that would red when you blue and all of the people who would never do business with you aren't your client and they're not your partner. And that's okay, because if I only need 25 clients and 10 partners, I need 35 people. That's not everybody. That's not anybody. And that is not actually an ocean either. It's not even a pond. It is a rain barrel in my backyard. So that's the big thing for me, is to really reground myself in what I know. That's why I'm bringing back this workshop, this referral incubator workshop, because it worked. It works.
I love the certainty of that. It's what will work for me because it feels like oxygen to me. It is the people I want. It's in a language that will appeal to them. And guys, that's right. Don't zig and zag to people who are not your buyer ideal. You are distracted. You're going to spend more money on things that are shiny than you need. And I love your honesty about, I've gone back to what I know my people respond to.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm a big fan of Dancing with the Stars, right? And I feel like I've been dancing a waltz to a to the beat of a foxtrot and try to dance a 3/4 to a 4/4. Like it just, like every 12th beat you get it right.
Right. And that's what it, and that can be an illusion though, because you're like, it worked once and you're like, yes, but guys, we want you to have a beautiful engine, consistent client growth with the right people so that you can amplify your impact and get well paid by people who need the service you need. Virginia, how do people find you?
The easiest place to find me is on LinkedIn. I'm at Virginia Muzquiz on LinkedIn, and I'm the only one. And I am super excited to have people connecting and following me there. And if you would love to learn the 6 essential T's, the 6 essential steps to building a business by referral and getting your referral engine basics in place, I do have an ebook called the Business by Referral Blueprint, and that's available at masterconnectors.com/blueprint. So both of those will get you in touch with me, to be sure.
Guys, go connect to her. She's one of my very favorite strategic partners because she is a badass in business. I'm excited to see where the business grows this year. Guys, we have cracked the collaboration code. We want you to be at the table with us when you do that too. Connect to Virginia. Thank you for being our guest today, guys. We will see you all on our next episode. Until then, get out there and amplify your marketing message and find your next client. They're looking for you. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrappin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.